or minimum tillage. Why do we till the soil? The primary function of tillage is weed control. Tillage also ensures improvement of soil tilth, aeration of soil, breaking of soil crusts, increasing infiltration, seed breed preparation practices for good crop establishment. But tillage has an unacceptable environmental footprint. When continuous tillage is happening, the soil degradation process and erosion process is happening in higher rate than the natural soil formation process, which is not sustainable in the long run. Therefore, tillage is incompatible with sustainable agriculture. Furthermore, promotion of tillage-based agriculture is not a wise strategy anywhere. Look at this photograph. This is a situation where disc ploughing is happening on an agricultural field. This disc ploughing or disc tillage not only buries much of the crop residues but also can pulverize the soil and induce serious compaction immediately beneath the soil, beneath the tilled layer. When this no-till farming started? Zero tillage or no-till farming is an age-old practice as agriculture. In the past, farmers fell down trees and burned a patch of forest and sowed seeds onto the as-mulch soil. Many weeds and weed seeds were desiccated by the burning before seeding. Subsequently, with time, crops were infested with weeds with the long-term cultivation, and then farmers restarted to tillage to control these weeds. What is no-tillage? Conservation tillage is a tillage system that conserves soil, water, energy resources through the reduction of tillage intensity and retention of crop residues. Generally, tillage of the soil stimulates microbial decomposition of soil organic matter, which results in emission of carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. Conservation agriculture involves planting, growing, and harvesting of crops with limited disturbance to the soil surface. Look at this figure. In the left side, it shows a soil or agricultural field which has undergone conventional tillage operations. In the right side, it shows an agricultural field where the no-till farming is happening. You will see here, under conventional farming situation, more carbon dioxide is released to the atmosphere in a similar way that they are absorbed into the soil. But when it goes to the no-till farming, more carbon dioxide is absorbed to the soil and lesser is released to the atmosphere. In that case, no-till farming collects or reserves or retains more soil carbon dioxide compared to the conventional farming situation, which is advantageous for the soil fertility enhancement and the soil health. In this picture, The conventional farming and conventional tillage, the nutrient leaching is happening in a higher rate. But in conservation tillage, there is a mulch layer maintained on the soil surface, and then soil nutrient retention is higher in this conservation tillage operation, and then soil biota like macro and microfauna are living comfortably in the soil, improving the soil health. At the above picture, under conventional tillage, the soil is damaged a lot. Soil structure is disturbed a lot, whereas under conservation tillage, the soil disturbance is minimum. Soil structural disturbance is minimum. And then the soil water retention and maintaining macro pores are happening in good way. And direct seeding is happening in the conservation tillage practices. Zero and minimum tillage ensures minimum destruction to the soil structure, no soil exposure or loosening, slower mineralization of organic matter, and little disruption of soil life. Therefore, minimizing the amount of tillage promotes sequestration of carbon dioxide in the soil. In the last decades, advancements in weed control methods and farm machinery now allow many crops to be grown with minimum tillage practices. Now let's look at what are the different features of no-till and minimum tillage system. Minimum tillage system helps soil conservation by enhancing soil health. It also helps conserving water in the soil due to undisturbed soil structure. It conserves and enhances soil fertility with well-maintained soil physical and chemical properties. It leads in soil temperature amelioration. No-tillage system also helps in controlling weeds with manipulated weed seed bank in the soil. Finally, it leads in increasing crop yields. Minimum tillage systems also lead for saving energy and time with no tillage implement usage and ultimately contributing to the economic gains. Now let's look at one by one in detail. The first feature, the helping soil conservation. The surface mulch of weed and crop residues is vital to the sustained success of no-till and reduced tillage systems. In the tropics, no-till and minimum tillage system protects the surface soil against impact of raindrops. It helps to keep the soil undamaged. The mulch helps development and maintenance of surface aggregates due to activities of worms and other soil animals, thus ensuring rapid infiltration of water. Under minimum tillage systems, since no ploughing or disking or soil cultivation is happening, it prevents loss of organic matter and nutrients in the soil. Under conservation tillage operations, there is no burning and crop residues is happening on the cultivation fields. This also enhances the soil health and other biodiversity in the system. Look at this photograph. This is a situation where disc ploughing is happening. This is tine tillers used in ploughing the soil. Scarify the soil with tines to a depth of 30 centimeters to break up the subsurface compacted layer, and then it leads more rainwater into the soil. Therefore, tine tillage implement can be used very effectively under minimum tillage or conservation tillage farming. Look at this table. In this table, it shows a loss of 4,300 kilograms per hectare of organic matter with usage of moldboard plough and disc harrow in land preparation, one after another. When a single implement is used, the organic matter loss during 19 days period is lesser. For the disc harrow, it is 1,840 kilograms per hectare of organic matter loss. When it comes to the direct seeding, where there is no land preparation is happening, the loss of organic matter for a period of 19 days is 860 kilograms per hectare, which is very much lesser value compared to the values or the losses with implement usage. Soil erosion can be reduced through leaving the soil untilled. Runoff is reduced by more than half in the no-till soils when compared with tilled soils. This table shows you a result of no tillage effects on soil and water loss under maize. As per the Greenland in 1975, the soil loss and runoff under no-till situations and then conventional tillage operations are higher when the slope of the land is increased. Irrespective of the slope of the land, the soil loss is lesser under no-till situations than tillage situations. The runoff is lesser under no-till situations than a tilled situation. Now let's look at how the no-tillage system helps in conservation of water in the soil. The improved infiltration or the decreased runoff is an important characteristic of the no-till system. The mulch cover and the higher organic matter content under no-till increases the retention of soil moisture and decreases evaporation losses from the soil. The third feature of the no-till system is it enhances soil fertility. Soil organic matter contents are usually higher and bulk densities are lower under no-till than under conventional tillage systems. Large quantities of nutrients and organic matter are saved from erosion by the no-till methods. This photograph shows your rich soil in a no-till system. The less disturbed soil structure is very clear under these no-till operation systems as per this photograph. Let's look at how the no-till system is helping for ameliorating soil temperature. Soil temperatures and diurnal fluctuations usually observed to be lower under no-till systems. This is essentially a result of mulch cover. Soil temperatures within the surface 5 cm of the soil is higher in plowed soil than no-till soil. Then let's look at how this no-till system helps in increasing crop yields. Tillage systems interact with soil, climate and agronomic factors in determining crop yields. Overall beneficial attributes of these systems on soil and soil fertility could be expected through the no-till system. Zero tillage and minimum tillage systems give better crop yields than conventional methods of cultivation. Another feature of the no-till system is it helps in controlling weeds. The minimal disturbance of soil associated with no-till and extensive use of herbicides to control weeds at the beginning. However, dispersal of seeds and other propagals of weeds into agricultural fields in conventional tillage is much lesser in the no-till work, and it is still against the benefit of herbicide use. Continuous use of herbicides, on the other hand, can also cause resistant weeds to proliferate. But once the no-till system is established, weedicides can be much reduced. In such situations may sometimes require localized and minimal tillage for controlling these weeds. As per this photograph, you will see less disturbing farm implements are used for controlling weeds. Very important feature of the no-till system is it helps in saving energy and time and finally enhancing economic gains. Tillage, both mechanical and manual, is highly energy consuming. No-till techniques have shown a remarkable reduction in the energy required. A comparison of power requirement involving in farming, no-till and conventional tillage is shown dramatic saving in time and energy as mentioned in below table. Look at this table. When different conventional tillage operations such as deep tillage or secondary tillage is happening, it consumes 100 to 140 horsepower per minute of power and then consumes 6.5 to 8.5 hours per hectare of time and 31 to 45 liters per hectare of fuel. Whereas When it comes to the no-till situation, the power usage, time consumption and fuel consumption is much more reduced when compared to the conventional tillage, even reduced or minimum tillage situations. Alternative methods used for land preparation in no-till farming. Let's see what are they. The first one is manual tillage system. The best example is hoe farming. In this system, farmers use simple hand tools to dig the soil. They apply compost or manure to raise the soil fertility. This process increases soil water holding capacity, and then they use planting of cover crops, and the manual pulling out of and slashing of weeds is done to control weeds. Crop rotation is a prominent practice under this hoe farming, so that they can get rid of weed problems as well as pest and disease problems. Another alternative method is animal tillage. The smallholder farming with draft animals is the best example. Under this system, they use bulls or oxen or donkeys sometimes to pull the cultivation implements in the land preparation process. They also sometimes use animal-drawn simple implements to cultivate lands with minimum efforts or damage to the soil. Finally, the soil degradation process and soil conservation practices. How both these things are contributing for the soil productivity. Soil degradation processes like soil erosion, crusting, compaction, waterlogging, acidification and nutrient runoff are negatively contributing for the productivity of the soil. Whereas soil conservation practices like crop rotation, contour farming, minimum chemical fertilizers, tillage conservation, water conservation and residue management are positively contributing for the soil productivity. This is end of the presentation. Thank you.